Good evening, everybody. Welcome along to the Transfer Show. Sorry for being a little bit late. Few technical difficulties kicking off this evening, but thank you all very much for remaining patient this evening. So thank you for tuning into the Transfer Show this Monday evening. Loads to catch up on because there's loads happening this Monday. It's been a busy weekend. So much going on in the world of Southampton. I've got all my notes in front of me, so I'm looking forward to bringing to you all the latest from Southampton. And my camera is frozen. Apologies for that. My camera froze there. Right. We will kick off very shortly. I'll let a few more of you join before we get right into the show this evening. But if you're not subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe to the Football Martin channel. Smash a like on this video as well. It really does help my channel. I'm really looking to expand the Football Martin channel this coming season. And also make sure you go and give me a follow on TikTok and get involved with my fantasy football league as well. There is, I think, 140 of you that have joined the fantasy football league that I've set up. So thank you all very much indeed for joining the fantasy football league. Right. Let's kick off with all the transfer chat because there's so much to talk about this evening. This weekend, there's been rumours flying around everywhere, and Southampton obviously in for quite a few players at this moment in time. I've been doing some digging, obviously looking across social media, talking to people that I know, and just trying to get as much information as we possibly can to bring to you here on the Transfer Show this Monday evening. Right. The big story is around Fabio Carvalho. Southampton tabled an offer for him over the weekend. A deal, they reckon, it was around £15 million, which was rejected by Liverpool. They don't want to loan him. They do want to sell the player. And probably rightly so. It's probably time for him to move on from Liverpool now. The Liverpool fans I speak to all pretty much say the same. It's probably time for him to move on and start playing football on a regular basis. He was out on loan at Hull City last season. He did okay at Hull City, did Fabio Carvalho, and he is now looking for probably a permanent move, but he wants some game time. Southampton's bid of £15 million was rejected yesterday, and it's rumoured that Southampton are going to go back in with like a £20 million offer, but that's rumoured across social media. Whether they will or not, I don't know. Matt O'Reilly still very much on the radar. I still think it's probably be between the two players. But today, it's emerged over the last couple of hours that Leicester City have emerged as a team, a club that want Fabio Carvalho in this window. So could he be off to Leicester City, or could that be the agent and the club playing some games to hype up the interest to get a slightly bigger offer from Southampton? Because you're guaranteed that will be happening. There's no doubt about that. So will Carvalho be a player that comes in the door at St Mary's? I've got all his statistics coming up for you here on the show very, very shortly. We're going to take an in-depth look at all the players we're looking to sign potentially in this transfer window. But before we do look at his statistics, I am just going to say hello to a few of you guys that are joining on the live. Thank you all very much. If you're joining in the pre-recorded later, you're watching this at a later date, and make sure you set a reminder. Monday evenings at 9 p.m, this transfer show will be going out, and there's updates in the week over on TikTok as well, regular updates going out as well. So the stream, thank you very much indeed. I really, really appreciate that. We try and do nice streams when I do them. That is for sure. Thank you very much indeed for your kind comments. Mike's in the live. Mike, thank you for joining us this evening. How can Leicester buy with their points deduction on the horizon? Yeah, I find that one quite amazing, Mike, to be quite honest. Thank you, Mark. That's very kind of you. A good friend of mine, Mark, has joined the live this evening. So, Mark, thank you very much for joining my live. If you're still tuning in, my friend, good friend of mine from school, but has been a really good voice the last couple of months. He's given me a lot of pushing me in the right direction is probably the right word. So it's good to have good people around you when you're creating content and you can take a bit of flack online. Chloe, thank you for joining. Absolute pleasure to have you on this evening. So thank you very much indeed. Keep your comments coming as the show goes, as we look at players, as we break down statistics on some of our potential incomings in the next couple of weeks. Am I off to Newcastle? Was a question I saw. Josh, yes, I will be at Newcastle United in a couple of weeks' time for the opening day's fixture. I will be bringing back my match day vlogs. My fan cam is all improved for next season. There's going to be some really good features involved in my match day content. So really looking forward to bringing that to you this season. Really looking forward to it. Right. Let's get right into the show now. We are going to take a closer look at Fabio Carvalho, who we were talking about a short while ago. And we'll look at the reasons why Southampton are very keen on him. Russell Martin's already said that they had a meeting together. Fabio Carvalho and Russell Martin met in January. Southampton were interested in him then. And this are his statistics from his loan spell in the Championship with Hull City last season. Well, he played 20 games in the Championship. He signed for Hull on loan from Liverpool in January, in the January window, in the winter window. He went on to score 9 goals. He had an XG of 4.98, which is very good. His assists were just the 2. He had 36 shots, and 19 of those being on target. His pass accuracy of 83% was not bad. He created 40 chances. He's not a player that dribbles with the ball loads, but it was a 14 dribbles that he attempted with a dribble success of 30%, so not particularly high. He's a player that does like to move the ball and keeps the ball playing, but does look for a forward pass. I like Carvalho. I think he's a player that I can see why we're very much interested in him this summer. And this are all of his statistics from last season at Hull City. Give me your thoughts to the potential signing of Fabio Carvalho in the comments box below, and I'll read some of them out as the show goes on. But Leicester City are rumoured to also be in the race for Carvalho. Right, let's move on to the next player that's being heavily linked with Southampton, and he has been all summer long, and that of Matt O'Reilly at Celtic. Russell Martin did say a couple of weeks ago that they won't go just throwing money around willy-nilly, and they will be hunting for the right people. He spoke about characters over talent as well. They will look to bring the right characters into the football club, something that we didn't have last time round in the Premier League, in my opinion. And he will bring the right bodies in that are required for the football club. They won't go making rash signings. And Matt O'Reilly is someone that they've been looking at for a very, very long time. And you can see why. If you compare his statistics to the ones that we've just looked at of Fabio Carvalho, you can really see why Southampton want to sign Matt O'Reilly. You can see why Brighton are interested in him as well, because this are his statistics from the season just gone. He has a very good relationship with Russell Martin, as I spoke about in my in-depth review of Matt Riley. But he went on to score 18 goals, a whopping 18 goals from midfield last season. He had an XG of 15, which is huge. He had 13 assists, 109 shots, 83% pass completion rate. He created a whopping 93 chances for his teammates. He won 172 of his duels. He's a player that likes to make recovery, track back, and win back possession for his teammates. 208 recoveries he made, and possession won in the final third was 33. He is a player that is absolutely quality. I still believe this lad could be the golden ticket for Southampton. Some of your comments are incoming as well. Brighton looking at him, which is worrying. Yeah, I agree. Brighton being in for him does concern me as well. Massively overachieved on his XG could be a good or bad thing, or could be the league that he's playing in as well. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I think it's a combination of where he's playing, the opposition he's playing against. It will be a massive, massive step up to go and play in the Premier League, in my opinion. A massive step up. It's not an easy division to go and play in the Premier League. So that are the statistics of Matt O'Reilly. Give me your thoughts in the comments box below. What are your thoughts on Matt O'Reilly and his potential move to the South Coast this summer? I think he's a player that if I was on the Southampton board, I'd be doing everything I can to go get him, because he's the one area we are really lacking in is a player that can drive from midfield, a player that can pick the ball up and make things happen. Who in the side at the moment is going to bring that? Dibling's been brilliant in pre-season. He's been absolutely outstanding, but he's 18 years old. It's a massive ask of Tyler Dibling to come into the first team and set the world alight when we're just getting promoted to a Premier League side that's not going to have possession of the ball quite like we did last season. But Matt O'Reilly, I think it's a right time for him to move. That relationship with Russell Martin will be really, really important in any deal to bring him to Southampton. I'm under the understanding from the people I talk to that he's very much keen on coming to St Mary's this summer. But Southampton, they will probably need to up their bid. And it is rumoured that another bid has gone in this evening. They're talking around 18 million now. But things are getting serious, that's for sure. Rumours of Chelsea involved, but we will wait and see on that one. A player I do want to talk about on the YouTube show tonight as well. Mike could be pleased to hear me speak about him, because a man he very much thinks it probably should be given a chance, and a man that was written off very, very quickly. Football can be very, very cruel at times. 2 or 3 bad games and you can be written off. And Tall Paul was written off. Paul Onuachu, otherwise known as Tall Paul. I have had a look at his statistics actually from last season. This is from Saints Statistics over on Twitter. Well, he was playing in the Turkish league for Transport last season, was Paul Onuachu. He went on to play 21 games, but he scored 15 goals. Yes, it's the Turkish league, I know, but look at his XG, 8.5. He had 61 shots in 21 games. Pass accuracy was very low, but we expect that from Onuachu. He created 13 chances. He won 140 duels. That's 49%. And his aerial duels, he won 61% of them. Paul Onuachu, from what I believe, Southampton will not let him go for the peanuts that's been offered right now for the player. They want top money back for the player. They invested around £15 million in him. But will Southampton be able to move Paul Onuachu on this summer? I'm not sure he'd wear a Southampton shirt ever again, but they have said they're willing to keep him if they don't get the right offer. And rightly so, they're going to say that, because they're not going to want a player to leave the football club on a basement price when he could potentially be a squad player for Southampton. So get in the comments blocks below. Give me your thoughts on Paul Onuachu and whether you would give him one more chance at Southampton. I don't think for 1 minute Russell Martin will give him an opportunity in the Premier League next season. I just don't see that happening for love nor money. I just don't see it. Mike Byers is speaking about Tyler Dibling, because we spoke about him a minute ago. Tyler Dibling could play in a 10 role. Yeah, I think he could. I actually believe he'll make the squad next season, and I think he will be the next big thing to come out of Southampton Football Club. I have a feeling he could do really well in the Premier League. Will suit him. He's fearless. He looks strong. He's got everything we need in a player right now in our squad. So I'd love to see him as a part of the squad next season. Evening, Martin, not sure we will get either player, if I'm honest. Yeah, I'm not sure neither. Obviously, there's loads of talk around Fabio Carvalho potentially going to Leicester. Mark Dickens, my friend, has put a comment in the box below. Carvalho is a great player, got huge potential and scored goals. I think he will be great for Southampton. No, I believe. And when you look at his statistics from last season, which are here on the screen right now, Carvalho did really well out on his loan at Hull City. He had a very good season for them. Apologies, my camera keeps freezing up every now and then. I have no idea why it keeps doing that. So apologies for the camera that keeps freezing on the screen. We will need to rectify that for the next live stream. Is there a FPL league? Yes, there is, mate. It's just on the right-hand side of your screen. If you head over to my TikTok, it's pinned on my page there. So it's pinned on my page and you can go and join my league. The code and everything is on there. A little bit of news to bring to you around injuries. Russell Martin is saying that Sekou Mara will be back and available for the game against Lazio I think it's on Wednesday night, the Lazio game, not weekend, Wednesday night. He will be available for selection after his injury. Adam Lallana could potentially be involved, but he's not trained yet. Ross Stewart needs a proper good few weeks training, apparently, before he's involved in a match day squad again. But he did confirm that Kamaldeen Sulemana picked up an injury. He will be out for 3 to 4 weeks, which I think is a massive blow because he is a player that needs to be moved on in this summer transfer window. Otherwise, it's going to be January now before we can move him on. So that is a little bit of a concern that he is still not making appearances for the football club, a player that cost us a lot of money, £25 million. And shocking, really, his contribution. John, thank you for joining live. Can't believe the player we saw at St Mary's can produce those stats. He looked completely out of his depth in the Premier League. Played under the wrong manager, in my opinion. He was signed for a manager in Nathan Jones, ended up playing under Ruben Sellers and just didn't suit him. I think the way that he runs and the way that he's built doesn't work in his favour, and that's why you talk about Onuachu. I get what you're saying, John. I get what you're saying. I actually didn't think he looked totally out of his depth. His touch wasn't always great. I didn't think he looked that bad in the couple of games I saw. I just don't think he was played to his strengths as a player. But you're right, he's probably not a Premier League player. Right, goalkeeping situation. I've been looking at Aaron Ramsdale, another player that I wanted to talk about here on a live stream because everybody DMs me and asks about goalkeeper. Martin, are we signing the goalkeeper? Are we not? I don't know if we're signing the goalkeeper, but in my opinion, if I was going to sign anybody this summer, one man that would be on my list would be Aaron Ramsdale on a loan. Arsenal are willing to let him go on loan. So if they're willing to let him go on loan, his statistics are absolutely outstanding for the last full season that he played in the Premier League. So this is the season before last. His statistics from 22-23 because he played a bit part role last season because of the signing of David Raya. He played 38 games in the Premier League. He made 95 saves. He had a save percentage of 68.8%, which is decent. He conceded 43 goals in that season, which is not bad. That he's playing in a really good side. Southampton last time round in the Premier League conceded around 73 goals in the league alone. So a good goalkeeper could be really, really important. Goals prevented minus 2.20. Clean sheets 14, which is very good. His distribution, pass accuracy, 63%, good distribution. Long balls, he played 138, likes to play a long ball when he can. And his accuracy, though, with his long ball wasn't great, 29.2%. I didn't do comparison on other goalkeepers. I'm not sure if that's a really good statistic, but his pass accuracy is not bad, 63%. Difficult pass accuracy for a goalkeeper, no matter what you say. But that are the statistics of Aaron Ramsdale, a goalkeeper that could potentially come in on loan. I would love to see him coming on loan. And that door is very much open to bring him in because they are willing to sell. What are your thoughts to the potential signing of Aaron Ramsdale on loan? I think it'd be a really good bit of business if Southampton could get that one over the line. But the other man that we need to speak about, and I think the deal could potentially end up dying, is for this man, Ryan Fraser. I spoke to him about him on the show last weekend. We're a week down the road. Still no signing imminent of Ryan Fraser unless he's going to pop out of that box in West Key where they were teasing the kit. What's in the box? was hoping it was going to be Wee Man. I still think it could potentially happen, but I think as the days drift now, Southampton will start looking at other potential players to bring into the football club. And another man I'm going to bring you some statistics on that has been linked in the last 24 hours is a player that was out on loan at Brighton and Hove Albion last season. Brighton, from what I read, won't keep him next year. And this young man, Brunietta, can't pronounce his name. I've been pronouncing it with my girlfriend for the last hour or so. An attacking midfielder that plays wide. He spent the last 2 seasons at Brighton and Hove Albion. He only played 27 games last season, but he's involved in 27 games. He didn't start 27 games. He scored 3 goals. He only got 1 assist, 21 shots, pass accuracy of 85%, which is decent. Created 18 chances, not loads. Duels 107, and he had 767 touches. So a player that played very much a bit part role at Brighton and Hove Albion last season. Some of your comments are coming in about Aaron Ramsdale. We'll come back to those in a second. But another man that Southampton could be interested in is Brunietta. Can't pronounce his name correctly. We need to do some work on that. I'm not sure. They're saying that Southampton have hijacked the move to bring him to St Mary's. But by the looks of it, Brighton and Hove Albion are very keen on Matt O'Reilly. So we need to wait and see what happens with this one. So what are your thoughts about the potential business that Southampton need to do? Get in the comments box below. Last few minutes of the live stream, last 5 minutes of my live this evening. Thank you for everybody that's tuned in. We need more proven players if we're going to stay up. I agree. I think we will need some more proven players for sure. A proven player that has been linked that I didn't mention was Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, and he won't be coming back to Southampton. His wage demands are way too high. So no danger of him coming back anytime soon, unless he lowers his wage demands. Right, what else do we have in the comments box below? Mark Dickens, unbelievable goalie and smashed it for Arsenal. He's unlucky still not to be playing, to be honest. Just have to have a player like that in the dressing room and around the club will be absolutely huge. Mark is absolutely spot on. I think Ramsdale would bring so much to Southampton next season. He would probably be worth 6 to 12 points on his own by having a decent goalkeeper. I think we need a goalkeeper, in my opinion. I think it's a really important area that needs strengthening, along with a striker. People say to me, how many players, Martin, do you feel we need to bring into the football club? And I'm very much of the feeling that we will need 5. Russell's saying there could be 1 or 2 before Newcastle. I still think we need 5 players. Goalkeeper, another holding midfielder to back up Flynn Downs. I think we need a wide man, creative midfielder, and definitely a striker, in my opinion. So that is what I feel we need to do. Some more comments in the comments box. Is there really a genuine chance of getting Ramsdale? We running on hopes and dreams. I think there's every chance, to be quite honest. Where else is he going to go? Who else needs a goalkeeper right now? Are Bournemouth really going to go in for him when they're paying netto £100,000 a week? I think it's really unlikely that Bournemouth go in for him, because there's talk of him going back down to Bournemouth. He's from the South Coast, but will he go to Bournemouth? I personally don't think he will. I think Southampton's a really good fit for him, in my opinion. Apologies for the camera that keeps freezing up. We need to get a new webcam linked up. Right, guys, it's been a pleasure coming on for the last 25 minutes or so. So I hope you've enjoyed my show this evening. I'll be back on TikTok on a pretty much daily basis with transfer news, rumours, any breaking news as and when I hear it. So make sure you go give me a follow over on TikTok at @footballmartin_. There'll be some live content throughout the week as well. I've got some really exciting stuff coming up in the next week, so stay tuned to the channel and make sure you subscribe to the Total Saints podcast on YouTube. I'll be hosting their show this coming Sunday here on YouTube, and I'm delighted to have the opportunity to sit in the hot seat for Martin Stark this week. So if you're not following the Total Saints podcast, 7:15 this coming Sunday, I'll be joined by Steve Grant, of the owner of Saints Web, Alfie House from the Daily Echo. He sits in all the press conferences with Russell Martin and the players. And I'll also be joined by the writer of League One -10, Glenn Delacour. So make sure you join me for that show on Sunday. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's not too bad, other than the camera that has let me down this evening. So I've got a new webcam ready to link up. We're going to do that, ready for the next live stream. I really appreciate your kind comments. I really appreciate everybody coming on as well. I will be at the game. Loads of people DMing me. Will I be at either of the games this week? The last 2 preseason games, Lazio on Wednesday night. I won't be there because I'm away doing some film work, which you'll see in the next few weeks. And then I will be at the game against Getafe on Saturday. I'll be there with my fan cam, looking for some early predictions for Southampton's finish in the Premier League. And we'll be taking a look ahead to the new season and some of the expectations that we may have. So that is everything. So the Saints game, Saturday, the 24th of August, I will be there. So thank you, everybody, for joining me this evening here on my live. It's been an absolute pleasure. Sorry for the camera that continued to freeze on me, which is always disappointing when you put loads of work into a show, and it does that. This has been the Transfer Show Live. My name's Martin Sanders, and it's been an absolute pleasure to bring to you my show this evening.